Beautiful macro shots. It doesn't have to break the bank in order to get them. All of the shots you're seeing now have been taken on the Canon 650D. This is a 12-year-old camera. YouTube is a kind of a mixed bungle. You've seen this video up here of 6 ways to start macro photography. But in real life for me, I'm still in the middle of producing that video. And I need some example shots of an old camera using some budget-friendly gear like these clip-on lenses to get some macro shots. And I thought to myself, this could make for a very interesting video. I already have plenty of images using macro lenses and my latest gear, but not with some clip-on lenses. That's what we're going to do today. So we are going to be revisiting an old friend. This is the camera I first started the channel with. This is the Canon 650D. It was released in 2012 and it is now 12 years old. Let's do some macro on it. This is going to be fun. So we have several bits of gear in front of me here. We've got clip-on lenses, we've got extension tubes, and I'm going to be reverse mounting some lenses. There's chapter markers down below, so if you want to see a particular section, just go down there and check it. But this isn't going to be a technical video where I'm telling you everything, how to do this, how to do that. This is going to be more of, I'm doing a photo shoot to get some images for my portfolio, for YouTube, and for a camera presentation I have next month. And I'm going to bring you along with me just to show you how we do this process of YouTube, basically. So this is essentially, it's the image section of the video. So I'm talking about clip-on lenses, and then I'm going to show you some images taken with those lenses. But I have to take the picture in the first place. Now, although I have some with this camera when I first started YouTube, I wasn't that good back then. So I want to take some new images with this gear to show the potential of what some old gear, some budget-friendly gear can do for your macro photography. And it's going to be very interesting revisiting an old friend because it's not a mirrorless camera. It doesn't have focus peaking. The ISO to noise ratio is absolutely abysmal in this camera. You're probably not going to be focus stacking with this camera. The autofocus, that sucks. So we're back to old school methods of getting images. So I have my hyacinths up here that we had out of the previous video that we did about a week ago now. And I have Missy, my jumping spider. It's going to be our model for today again. I have got another jumping spider, a male one. Is very boisterous though, so I don't particularly want to be testing this gear out on him because, again, safety of the spider is utmost concern of mine. We know previously that Missy is good at modeling, so we will be using her for this one as well. So there we go. So the first thing, we have a Canon 650D with the 50mm prime lens on there. A nifty 50, fantastic lens. This is basically the gear I started my macro journey with, and I have a lot of appreciation for this camera because without this camera I wouldn't have started. We're going to play first of all with the clip-on lenses. For this video I'm going to be using the Raynox DCR250 and we're going to plop that onto the front of our camera. Probably the easiest way to get into macro photography is just putting on a clip-on lens. Right, so let's get our spider out. And I have some new platypod gear here. I remember a few weeks ago I said I was wanting to get some more gear for my complete setup, and I have that. So I've put the background onto a separate platypod now, just so Missy doesn't get the idea of trying to jump over to the background. So I'm going to set that up just in front of my monitor here. Let's get Missy out. And we know how good this spider is. See how quickly she popped out then? Easy. And again, we're on the platypod here for ease of use. Check out this video to see how I've set up this particular macro setup. But for now, we're talking about the Canon 650D. So let's get that turned on. Settings, I'm going to go 1/200th of a second. It's been a while since I've used this camera. F-stop, man, I can't remember what was good on this camera. I'm going to go F8. ISO, it's not touchscreen. ISO, there's a button for ISO. ISO 100. So we've got 1/200th of a second on the shutter speed. F8 on the f-stop and ISO 100. And we're shooting in RAW. AF point, I've selected the middle point. Okay. Again, we have no focus peaking. The autofocus, turn that off because it ain't going to work. And I'm focused so that I have the maximum magnification with this camera. For lighting, we're not going to be using an external flash. I'm going to use the pop-up flash. One bonus with these entry-level cameras is the fact that they come with a pop-up flash. But of course, we always have to diffuse it. So I'm going to grab my trusty Crafty Bells diffuser, which you can no longer get. They're out of business now. I believe they retired, if I remember right. But we're going to pop that on, and that is literally all we're going to do. Now this camera, I've just priced this camera up on Facebook Marketplace, £150 for the camera. You can start macro photography with any budget. So I'm in manual, full manual, let the camera do the flash, let's just take some pictures of Missy and see what kind of results we get with the Raynox and the 50mm plastic fantastic. My old style of working, I have the central focusing point. When that gets into focus, it flashes red and beeps at me, so I know it's in focus. I never trust my eyes. I mean, I'm half blind as it is already, so I never trust my eyes to know it's in focus. This does have live view on it. Can't remember how to do it though. Oh, there we go, live view. Again, no focus peaking, so I'm having to guess. Turned off. I'm so used to mirrorless cameras, it's unbelievable. I'm waiting for the image to pop up in the viewfinder, but it's not going to happen on this camera. We have to chimp. We have to go in there and have a look. How do I zoom in? Zoom in. To my surprise, we got some half decent images of Missy using this setup. I have missed that noise. Oh. That clunk of the mirror going up and the shutter going off, I have missed that. In mirrorless cameras, they're very quiet. And although for nature and to be discreet, it is the best, there's just something about that noise that I've missed it. I really have missed it. I'm taking a picture of my hand so I know that's the end of the Raynox section. So I'm going to take this diffuser off. And we're going to put on some extension tubes. Okay, now, just for variety, we are going to change the flower as well. Let's have a look what we got. Got a drooping blue one. I mean, I cut these off last week. That's how all these flowers are. So what I'm going to do is transfer her over to the blue one. She plays so well, doesn't she? No fussing, no messing around. She's just boom, straight onto it. And I'm going to need new background. I'm going to go for the classic favourite just here, which is the green and blue background. This is from the spring collection. And let's get some images captured with the extension tubes. Okay, now I have got quite a few images with the extension tubes, so I only need one alternative image, just something a little bit different. Right. Yeah, nice. Let's see what happens if we put the Raynox on top of this section. So we've got the extension tubes and the Raynox now stacked. These options, you can stack them together. Let's see what we get now. Try jumping on the camera. I don't know what it is, when you got these Crafty Bell diffusers on your camera, they always seem to want to jump on them. It's like you put a Crafty Bell's diffuser on your camera, it's an open invitation for the spider to jump on it. Just missed that one. My battery's about to go flat. Where is Missy gone? And she's here. These batteries aren't a lot of good. Well, to be fair, they are 12 years old, so they're not very good at all. Let's play with the other option that you have, which is reverse mounting lenses. And I want to play with two different lenses. I have the kit lens, which is the 18 to 55mm lens, and a Tokina 28mm lens. So we need an adapter, which is this. This is a reverse mounting adapter for Canon EOS cameras. It's got the EF mount on the one end, and I believe it's a 58mm thread on the other end. So you screw that onto your lens, and then you place that onto your camera. And again, our Crafty Bells goes onto the lens. And again, I'm going to change flowers. Some flowers are great for jumping spider photography as well. I'll place it yellow down and then up, and we've also got yellow in the back. In fact, I'm going to go for the yellow on the back actually. I'm also going to rise it up so that the card starts at the correct height. And let's get a couple of shots with the 18 to 55mm reversed onto the Canon 650D. Yeah, it's kind of blurred. Yeah, it's not the best. Let's have another go quickly. Not the best results with that lens, to be honest with you. But I wanted to give it a go and see what it looked like. Because the next one we're going to try, we know we can get good results with it. And that is the Tokina 28mm lens. We're going to reverse it. To get this on, we need to use some step-up rings. So we're stepping up from 52mm to 58. Okay. Screw that on there. Pop him on. So where's my little marker? Okay. And this is a full manual lens. So what I want to do is set that to go f8. So now we have a Tokina 28mm reversed onto a Canon 650D. And the way it works is the opposite effect of binoculars. When you turn binoculars around, look through them the one way, everything is far away. We're basically doing the same. We're taking a wide angle lens, we're turning it round, putting it onto our camera so it's magnifying everything. But yeah, you can get some beautiful images like this. Very hard to focus because it's very dark. It's a manual lens. It's actually quite hard to... Oh, the camera's just died. Okay. That must be a dodgy battery. Well, I'm down to one battery now. So... oh, if I do this more often, I might have to invest in some new batteries for the 650D. Going to be the last couple of shots now, I think. So let's make the most of it. Come on, so keep still for just 2 seconds. I'm going to get one more shot of you. And of course, you've probably already seen these images from the last video. But me, at time of recording, I don't know if these are going to come out any good. They look okay on the back of the screen, but you know what it's like. It always looks good on the back of the screen. It's only until you get in Lightroom afterwards that you realise you missed a focus. So there we go. That is revisiting an old friend, the Canon 650D, for some basic macro photography. Fantastic camera in its day. To be honest with you, I'm missing that live view type of thing through the viewfinder. Yeah, the stabilization on the newer cameras is great. Being able to use a higher ISO is great. That helps you with your focusing because you're seeing the camera's exposure rather than having to guess when it comes to a DSLR. I love my Canon 650D, but I would much rather prefer to use my more modern cameras for my macro photography. It is a great starting point if you are interested in getting into macro photography. My recommendation would be clip-on lens, either the Raynox DCR250 or the Nissi 49mm lens. This Raynox has a 49mm filter thread on it. Missy, you want to have one more photo? You know what we're going to do here, don't you? Let's get rid of everything. And I'm going to put the Raynox on here. And then I'm going to put the Nissi on top of the Raynox. Let's see what happens. Never tried this before. Let's take a picture of the... just a sunflower. Missy, one more photo is needed, please. Let's see what happens. 2 clip-on lenses stacked on the Canon 650D. It's a little bit bright, but I can't turn the ISO down anymore. And I look at the histogram, so we're not blowing out highlights, so we should be able to recover it. So yeah, there we go. Let's pop Missy back into her enclosure. So we'll offer her the cup. There we go, she's in there. That was some nostalgic fun just there, having a play with the old Canon 650D, a 12-year-old camera for macro photography. Contrary to popular belief, macro photography doesn't need to cost an arm and a leg to get into. So long as you've got a camera and a lens, all you need is a clip-on lens like this Raynox DCR250 to get into macro photography. So if you are watching this channel and you're sitting there thinking, I won't mind having a go, just get a clip-on lens, or if you want to, you can get extension tubes. Well, personally, I would recommend the clip-on lens for starting macro photography. It's absolutely great. As you can see from this video, you can use really budget-friendly gear to get into macro photography. But I'll be honest with you, I much prefer my Olympus camera and my Canon EOS R for macro because of the newer technology. But you don't need the latest, greatest to start macro photography. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments below if you did. And if you did like the video, also let me know, do you want to see me do this same type of video with the Canon 400D? That could be quite interesting. But until then, I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe and click the like button. It really does help out the channel. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for their continued support in supporting me and this channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, then check in the description below this video for a link to Patreon. If you want to continue watching my macro journey, then click one of the videos in front of you now.